How's it going? Today I'll be showing you guys how I go about my sampling, techniques I use, the process that I go through, and yeah, hopefully this will make it easier for people who are looking to get into sampling or they want a little bit of extra tips and like how to improve their workflow. This is how I go about it, and this is what I normally do. So starting off, I'll show you guys the samples that I used for this beat particularly. We have the melody here. Pretty simple, pretty easy, nice, soulful, good. And these are the drums. Working with the drums first, I'll just show you guys how I would normally get it into the sampler. So let's say that this right here is the drum loop. Just double click and then right click on the audio clip here and open in Fruity Slicer. Fruity Slicer is super good for drum loops because, well, it just is. If you're using FL and you're looking for a sampler that's in the program itself, Fruity Slicer is the best thing to go with for your drums because it's just the easiest, and to get it open just like that. And then you're popped up here with a screen like this, and as you can see, it's already chopped on all the notes, and I mean, it does that automatically. You go to sharp auto slicing, medium, dull, really changes it around for you, gives you longer cuts, shorter cuts, or you can even go by beat. Really simple, right? Like you have a bunch of options here. And then you bring that into your piano roll and you can make something simple like this. And I'll play this out for you. This is the drum loop that I made from that sample. Super easy, but nice, right? Simple, always the best way to make beats. More is, well, less is more, you know? Then we got a little bit of texture here. It's not just kick, snare, hi-hat. There's layers, right? And then we even got the ones up here. We got some down here, a little bit of a pattern change. Yeah, you can mess around with your drums and honestly just like have fun doing it. I personally like to do this, especially if you're doing like full sample beats like this one, where your melody and your drums are samples. I love doing it with the drums. It's honestly, for me, the workflow is just better. I find that I get better texture and sound on my drums, and I don't know, I'm a fan, right? Like I like it a lot more. All right, so moving on to the melody, I use a different sampler, and it's free, so you guys can still grab it. It's TX16. Super good, super easy, especially for just sampling melodies. Like, it's probably the best thing to use for free. I don't know if there's any better. Maybe there is, but it's just what I use. So, I'm still new to using it, and I can't really explain it that well to you guys, but for what it is, and for what I know, I'll try to walk you through it. So you start with this. I go to waves. This will be empty. You drag your sample in. Boom, it's there. You use here to, like, enter your cuts. And then you have free range, really. You can move them around, stretch them, shorten them, do whatever you want. But what I recommend, especially for sampling, is not just put it by a beat, right? Because, not all samples are going to hit directly on the beat. They're not always going to be lined up the way that you want them to. So I recommend messing around with it, finding exactly what you like and what you're looking for through your sample, because that way it just makes it more original. It gives it more character, and it's just better than having like a pattern that just repeats, right? So what I did is I found this sample, and I went through and I selected all the parts where the piano hits. right? So this way, I went through and I grabbed that note, and I find for me, when I do that, it gives me more option in creating the sample and making it like more personalized rather than sounding like the original sample. So as you guys remember, I showed you the original sample at the start. This is the pattern that I took and I made with it. Right, super simple, but you add the drums, you add this little thing here, which is some ear candy. And it just kind of already sounds full, right? I mean, of course, there's a lot of room for the artist to come on and do whatever they want to do. But I find that when you keep this pattern simple and, you know, mainly focus on just creating a catchy, easy pattern, it makes it so much more open. It leaves pockets there for people to do their own thing. They don't have to, you know, stay right on beat when they're doing it. Gives a lot more option. I feel like it just makes it sound better. You can also then take your sample and you can flip it around and you can make an intro or an outro or a chorus or just a different part in the song. You could even make an entire beat switch, really, and use the same sample. Because if you select the right sound, you can really do whatever you want with it. But basically all I did here was change up the pattern, make it less choppy, make it extend into itself. For some pieces, other pieces it still has that opening, which I recommend leaving some opening for the beat. And then I just added some ambience that I had, and this is what comes out of it. Yeah, I added some effects on the sample, like just overall. You can go in, you can pitch it, you can add your delays, your reverb, like whatever you want. I normally add just a simple delay and then 2 reverb presets that I made. I normally just leave it like that because I find it gives it a bit more wide and vintage sound, which is nice for samples, especially if you're doing it on a computer where everything is so digitalized and you're not getting like a true sample from a record. I find that adding that stuff or analog presets, like analog plugins, adding those, it really give it that old school sound. And I mean, yeah, this is really it. Like, the beat has a lot to offer, it has a lot of room for artists, but it's not really that complicated. Yeah, of course, I mean, everyone will struggle trying to find their patterns sometimes, and you know, the more you do this, the better you get, and the easier it is to find these samples. You start hearing sounds and be like, yeah, that's what I want to use, like, you know, but I mean, at the same time, like, even if you don't have all those skills, even just like, you know, using the techniques that I gave you here and bringing that into a sample that is like, you know, you're gonna be able to find something, you can put this together in probably an hour, and it's honestly a lot of fun. It's super easy, and it's a great way to make original beats. You know, I have no problem with using loops. I think that, you know, people, they really sleep on loops for what they are. I think a lot of people also overuse them. I think a lot of people also overhate on them. But I feel like if you're using loops already and you want to make them a little bit more interesting, chop them up. You know, if you're going to go on Looperman and grab a drum loop, throw it into FL, that's great. But why not put it into Fruity Slicer first and mess around with it, chop it up? You know what I mean? Gives you a lot of option. I even put like a bass line in here. I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on the bass line. You guys can let me know. I'm probably gonna, you know, work on this beat a bit more. something simple, something easy. I gotta mess around with the key to fix it up, but yeah, this is normally how I go about my sampling. I know this probably wasn't like the best tutorial. It's more so just kind of walking you guys through my workflow to, hopefully help out if anyone needs a little bit of, ideas for their beat block or you're learning. I think these are great things that you should probably try out. And yeah, they should be a staple in your workflow 100%. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And yeah, see you later.